What's going on, guys? FM here, bringing you a non-XL team for the Ultra League Halloween Cup with a Pokemon that's literally broken. I mean, look at this thing. Just standing still in the middle of the screen. It's been going on for a while, actually, now. It's kind of hilarious, kind of terrifying to battle against, to be honest. But it's a pretty good core breaker for this meta, along with the Scavalier. Both of those are pretty good core breakers. Giratina, altered, of course, is just here to be nice and bulky, to soak up a lot of damage, which is what I'm going to use for in a lot of these battles. This one included, like right here. Like, we'll just go ahead and take that Dark Pulse and just farm down. So anyways, we're going to jump into some of these battles. Go ahead and leave that like, leave a comment down below. Let me know, have you been enjoying the new Ultra League Halloween Cup, if you've played it so far, and if so, which team have you been running? All right, so we lured out a Nidoqueen here. They are going to get a really nice poison jab down, which isn't great for me. Nidoqueen with energy is a little bit scary. However, I know I can come in with a Scavalier. I can easily tank an Earth Power. So I'm just going to come in. I'm going with no shield. The last thing you want to do is come in, shield, and then get baited with a Poison Fang, and then you have to shield everything. And that's exactly what they do. They bait with the Poison Fang, double resisted. We're not worried about that. Going to be over farming here, and I will go ahead and give up my first shield. Interesting that they're staying in this matchup. It's not a great matchup for Nidoqueen, so I'm thinking they must be weak to a Scavalier in the back. So I'm going to start the back-to-back drill runs. Going to be throwing my first one here. Does it connect? No, they throw up the shield, which more or less confirms like they got to be weak to this thing in the back, right? So we're going to go ahead and throw the next drill run. Again, we get the shield. Going to come in, get the nice combo play with Overquill. Overquill already putting in a little bit of work here. Going to, oh, they actually catch it. That's impressive. That was a really impressive catch. But Overquill just going to stand still, gain a bunch of energy here. It's their own Escavalier in the back, so not really weak to Escavalier. I guess they just wanted to align with the Overquill. But Overquill doesn't care that much. We're going to build up a ton of energy and go for this Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball coming through, taking out the Escavalier, and we are one poison jab away from the Aqua Tail. So Overquill really taking out all three. I mean, it got the Incineroar really low, able to take out the Scavalier with just that energy advantage and shield advantage, and then Nidoqueen easy to clap as well. All right, into the next one. Gengar leads. We are going to be resisting everything from Gengar unless they have Focus Blast. So I'm not going to be shielding anything they throw. They built up to 7, likely going to be the Sludge Bomb or the Shadow Ball. It is the Shadow Ball, and oh my gosh, that's so much damage. Overquill is still pretty glassy in the Ultra League. I mean, we survive it, but like, man, for a resistant move, that's ridiculous. Of course, Gengar also just hits incredibly hard. They say swap into an Alolan Mug, and this one's running Snarl, so that caught me off guard a little bit. Not as good of a matchup for a Scavalier. Still, a Scavalier is my best answer here. So we're going to go ahead and throw up a shield here and farm down, knowing that I'll have a drill run ready to go just about to be able to threaten a shield off that Gengar if the Gengar comes back in. But then I started thinking, I'm like, ooh, if that Gengar Shadow Claws me down, I'm in a really bad situation. So I'm very thankful that they waited out their Switch Cock there, because I'm going to go ahead and throw this drill run, and then I'm going to pivot back into my Overquill and immediately throw an Aqua Tail bait. Being a Gengar, they're likely to want to shield this, because if it's the Shadow Ball, they are gone. And they do just that, and then they throw immediately. I'm like, this can only be a Shadow Punch. That's not a Shadow Ball. So we're gonna eat it, and we survive it, and we make it to the Shadow Ball. Overquill putting in the work. You love to see it. Shadow Ball takes out the Gengar in the bag. It's going to be an Obstagoon. So this is where it's nice that my Giratina does have Dragon Breath over Shadow Claw. I was expecting to see a lot of dark types in today's or in this meta when going into it. Saw a lot more fairies than dark types. So maybe Shadow Claw is the better move. I mean, I'm using Giratina as a safe swap, which is kind of awkward no matter what. And you're not really going to beat the fairy types with Shadow Claw, it just makes it a little bit closer. Maybe with like a Togekiss with Ancient Power and Shadow Claw, maybe you do have a chance there. But anyways, we're able to get the Goon real low. I come in with Escavalier, just trying to close out the game quickly, but my opponent decides they want to stall it out. So they're going to throw both Night Slashes. Doesn't really matter. They're at like 1 HP. It's going to take like 3, no, not even 3, like 2 Dragon Breaths to take out the Goon. And that's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. All right, jumping on into the next one. Overquill into a Runerigus. So this is something that is a core breaker for this team. Scav doesn't want to see it. Giratina doesn't want to see it. And Overquill, well, Overquill, I don't know, actually. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. So Sand Tomb comes through, of course, hits for super effective. They're going to get there very quickly. But they pivot into a Tentacruel, which is kind of nice for me. I can come in with my Escavalier, and maybe Wonder plus the counters will take this thing out. I wasn't quite sure. They do go for the Scald, and they get the attack drop. So now I'm like, man, I know this thing is bulky. I know I'm going to need to connect with 2 Durans now, and that's not great. So, not wanting to give up a shield, knowing that Runerigus can start just, you know, chipping away at my Overquill if I'm shields down, I decided to let it go. I'm going to go ahead and come in with my Giratina, and they are building up a lot of energy, telling me they were trying to get to the Blizzard, but they fall just short. So beautiful. We get the farm down. I know Giratina with energy can fight back against that Runerigus. Unfortunately, we don't have Shadow Sneak, but they don't come in with the Runerigus anyways. They come in with an XL, what is this? Galarian Wheezing. Absolutely nuts to see. They call my first Aqua Tail bait. No big deal. Going to build back up to the Shadow Ball. Go for another one. And they call it again. So saving shields for Runerigus, it seems. I do have to shield up whatever they throw here because of Giratina does not want to see this thing. And I'm going to be over farming and then going for another Aqua Tail. So we'll see if they want to finally give up a shield to protect their Wheezing, and they do. So they're going to be farming up a lot of energy, swapping out into Runerigus. And I throw this Aqua Tail immediately, which in hindsight, probably a mistake. I thought they would shield it, but they don't. But that's actually kind of good too, because now I can come in with Giratina, and these Dragon Claws are going to start to add up, right? I mean, XL Runerigus bulky, but not bulky enough to take all of this damage. One attack after another. We do grab the shield with that Dragon Claw right there. At this point, I know they only have one chance to throw the Shadow Ball, so I'm going to go ahead, throw up the shield. Yes, it is the Shadow Ball. Going to be able to get to this next Dragon Claw right here. All we have left is a very low health Galarian Wheezing, which does come in and immediately throw some energy. I know this is going to be the play rough. Can Giratina hold on? We do, but that's actually worse. If they get the farm down here, I lose. However, I am able to pivot into my Overquill and Poison Jab on down. So GG's, well played to my opponent. Oh yeah, by the way, this is yeah, Niantic tried to they tried to end my win streak here. I was on like a 6-game win streak here. I ended up going on a 9-game win streak to end the day, which was really nice. Ended up going 9-1 in these last 2 sets. So they tried to mess me up there, but I just happened to, I was like, yeah, I'm going to just make sure that I didn't enter into that battle. I'll go back into the battle screen, and yeah, I was in a battle. So I was like, okay, cool. Luckily, it looked like I made it in as the timer was going down, so I don't think I missed out on anything. We're going to be able to take out the Dragalge after throwing up one shield. Is it Dragalge or Dragouge? Everybody is saying Dragouge now, but originally I was hearing everyone saying Dragalge. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if you know. If you actually know, don't tell me like what you think if you don't know, because like I just want to know. I want to get it right. Anyways, Alolan Ninetales running Powder Snow here. We're going to be able to grab a shield back from them. They have a ton of energy. So I gotta make a call here. They're going to try to go for the Dazzling Gleam at some point, and I shielded up, and it is the Gleam. Beautiful. In the back, they have a Toxicroak. Toxicroak can't do anything against Giratina. My opponent top lefts, and that's GG's. Well played to my opponent. All right, into the next one. Overquill into a Shadow Nidoqueen. So this is actually the reason. So let me talk about why I built this team. I wanted to find the best lead out there, and I was looking at my past teams that have been the most successful, and they were a mix of fast move pressure on the lead, but also normally has some kind of nuke. Like Electrode in the Love Cup was really good for me, Shadow Electrode especially, because I could Hyper Beam things, or even the Discharge hits extremely hard from it. You know, things like that. So I was like, you know, who can do that here? Well, Overquill can. And if we get trapped up against something like the Nidoqueen lead, we can start Aqua Tail spamming after farming down the next Pokemon, which is exactly what I'm going to do here. I could fight for Switch, but I was like, let me test this plan out. I'm going to be resisting everything from the Drapion unless they have Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail isn't going to be doing too much damage to my Overquill. So we're going to go ahead and just tank whatever they throw. And look at this. I'm already almost at back-to-back Aqua Tails. They are going to be hitting the Queen for super effective. So 2 of them will be lethal from this range. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the first one. Of course, goes unshielded. That's perfectly fine. We got another one ready to go. At this point, my opponent has to give up a shield if they want to keep this Nidoqueen alive. And all of a sudden, this matchup that was bad for Overquill is amazing because we're almost already at another Aqua Tail. I will respect the Earth Power here. Of course, we do get baited with the Poison Fang. Going to be over farming and going for the Aqua Tail now. We'll see if they want to give up their final shield. And they do. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and come in with a Scavalier. And they likely go Earth Power here, but I know a Scavalier will hang on. So I go ahead and no shield, and they Poison Fang again, man. Nidoqueen users love to bait, and they were really trying to get that shield there. They needed to get the shield. If they just Earth Power there and I shield it, they're fine, but they did not. So now I'm going to be able to chip away at this Jellicent. I'm not going to worry about my Scavalier at this point because Overquill is going to be resisting all the hexes from this Jellicent and of course resisting all the poison jabs from Nidoqueen. So I'm going to be building up to 100 energy or at least to a Shadow Ball plus an Aqua Tail energy, which is 90 energy, I guess. I go to 100. So Shadow Ball, gonna be coming through. Gonna be plenty to take out the Jellicent. Boom! Get out of here. And then we got the Aqua Tail loaded. I'm telling y'all, Overquill puts in work. Especially if you can get that energy lead. It's fun. I think it's worth it for this cup. I don't think it's worth it for Open Ultra. For this cup, yeah, like it's fun. It's fun. Anyways, I was talking about my thought process building this team. So, Overquill plus Giratina make nearly a perfect core, with the exception of something like a Chill Drive Genesect, which I know is really highly rated and it's really good in this cup, but I don't know that many people have it, to be honest, or at least like decent IVs, because you can't trade it. Since it is mythical, you can't trade it. And then like how many people were holding on to the Chill Drive one? Like, oh, I'm gonna hold this for the potential Halloween cup, right? So I don't think that many people have it. I saw one today. That was it. So I don't know. If we see a lot of those, maybe you don't want this team, but I haven't seen a lot. So they make a near perfect core. And then for the closer, I was thinking, all right, so what common team do I expect to see that I'd be weak to? And that's going to be a Nidoqueen Double Dark, right? I would struggle against Nidoqueen Double Dark with just those two. So we'll go ahead and throw in a Core Breaker, which is going to be a Scavalier. So this is not an ABB team, which I normally do recommend ABB teams. But this team just works. So anyways, gonna be coming in with my Escavalier here against the Nidoqueen, Shadow Nidoqueen, and of course they bait. When have we seen a Nidoqueen not bait? So now I'm at the draw and going to be CMP tying them right here as they throw the Earth Power, and we do grab a shield, so that's perfectly fine with me. I will just match shields right here. Do they bait again? Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a Nidoqueen, but whatever. You know what? I got an Aqua Tail banked. Seems like they're weak to Escavalier. Let's go ahead and pivot, throw the Aqua Tail. We take them out. Interesting. So what's in the back? Going to be a Tentacruel. So we are just jabbing away. They're jabbing away. We're going to be throwing the Shadow Ball though. The Shadow Ball actually hits really hard for a non-stab. A Shadow Ball. They're going to be building up a lot of energy. I'm building back up to the Shadow Ball, and they try to catch on the Mandibuzz, which is a big mistake by them. And then I bait with the Aqua Tail, which in hindsight, like, risky, a little bit risky. Because right now my Escavalier could take one Scald. If they would have called that bait, I probably would have lost. So anyways, good thing that they shielded it. I can just get to the draw run now, and that's going to be a GG's. Well played to my opponent. So luckily, like, they didn't call the bait, so my win streak stayed intact there. But yeah, just I've been making some questionable plays, which is why I'm still in the 2600s. But hey, we're climbing. We're climbing. All right, Granbull lead, great lead. They're going to be swapping out to a non-Shadow Nidoqueen, and I'm bringing in my Giratina here. Reason being, Giratina is the only thing on this team that doesn't want to see that Granbull. If I end up with a Scavalier aligned with that Granbull and I grab a shield from them at some point, like, I don't care. That's perfectly fine. So I'll go ahead and just get my Giratina out of here. They're going to be throwing another Poison Fang here. They didn't even build up to the Earth Power, which I think is the proper way to play this, because that's the only way they can win the Zero Shields. I think Nidoqueen can win the Zero Shields if you just throw these Poison Fangs immediately and then throw the Earth Power. which is exactly what they do. I mean, this is my first time playing Giratina. By the way, shout out to my wife, who's amazing. She traded me her only Giratina so that I could try to get a good IV one for today's cup. Because I've never built one for Ultra League. It just seems boring in Ultra League. But, you know, new cup, I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and build one. It worked really well in this core. And she gave me this, like, insane IVs for us being best friends in the game. Like, that's ridiculous. So thank you to my wife. Thanks, honey. Anyways, here's Umbreon in the back. We still got all 3 of our Pokemon alive, and we're going to be able to put our Escavalier on this. They don't even know. They can't snarl me down either. There's no shot that you're ever snarling me down. So I'm just going to keep pumping out these Aquadells, and there we go. We grab a shield. Beautiful. They're throwing some energy. Foul play is probably enough from here. They end up throwing Last Resort. Foul play was probably enough, but it doesn't matter. I got an Escav. I'm not really sure what that catch was. I guess they thought I was coming in with Tina throwing a Dragon Claw. I don't need to. I just don't need to. So Escavalier, just going to soak up whatever you throw here. Going to go ahead and just throw the drill run. Seems like they're trying to play it out. So we'll go ahead and throw, but they do let it go through. So GG's, well played to my opponent. That's going to be it for today. Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Again, interested to hear what people are running in the Halloween Cup, and if you've been enjoying it so far. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my channel members for your support. And until next time, this is Chilla Superman, reminding you to always keep pushing forward.